Today, we're challenging a huge cultural blind spot. This common belief that organizing your life is just something you naturally absorb.
Right, like how to breathe or walk.
Exactly. We've all been told, clean your room. But I honestly don't remember anyone ever sitting down and giving formal, step-by-step instructions on how to actually do it.
No, you just assumed you'd figure it out.
Yeah.
And that assumption is, well, it's precisely the core friction point in our sources today.
It is.
If you look at, say, a standard home economics class, students learn how to bake a cake or maybe sew a button.
Sure.
But formal instruction on maintaining the space where you actually live, it's just surprisingly absent.
And that leads to this misconception that you get better at tidying just through experience.
Which then leads to a really tough truth.
That the person who's been trying to organize for 30 years might actually be worse at it than a complete beginner.
Statistically, that seems to be the case. Our sources highlight a fascinating and, frankly, a pretty painful statistic.
Oh.
About a quarter of the students who seek professional help are women in their 50s. They're veterans of home management, but they struggle because they've spent decades applying these erroneous conventional approaches.
So experience doesn't automatically equal skill.
Not at all.
Ouch. So our mission today is to really unpack the KonMari method, to understand why those deeply ingrained habits fail, and how this specific approach demands a fundamental, life-changing shift in mindset.
Right. And a good place to start is with the most comforting lie.
The one you see on the cover of every lifestyle magazine?
Tidy a little a day.
It sounds so appealing, doesn't it? It feels like it respects the pace of a busy life.
But according to the sources, it is the trap.
Yeah.
The reason people never achieve lasting results is precisely because they tidy little by little.
So the incremental approach is the problem itself.
It is. These habits you've acquired over years and years are just incredibly difficult to change bit by bit. You try to do it gradually, you see no immediate visible results, and poof.
Your efforts just evaporate.
Exactly.
So if that fails, what's the alternative? We can't spend every weekend for the rest of our lives tidying.
No, and that's the point. The only way to really transform your thinking is to see a huge, tangible result and see it immediately.
And that's the tidying marathon.
That's the one. You have to tidy in one shot. Completely, thoroughly, all within a short, concentrated period of time.
And it's that sudden, drastic change that transforms the mindset.
It is. That's what prevents the rebound effect, the slow creep back to clutter.
Okay. When we talk about a short, concentrated period for a complete life reset, what kind of timeline are we actually looking at here?
Well, based on the experience of clients in the source material, quickly usually means about half a year.
6 months.
6 months of intense effort to fundamentally reset the decision-making foundation of your entire life.
That sounds overwhelming. It sounds like aiming for perfection right out of the gate.
It is.
But we always hear that other advice. Don't aim for perfection. Start slow. Just discard one item a day.
And that advice is just so misleading because it ignores basic math.
How so?
Well, for most people, the speed at which you acquire new things will almost certainly outpace the rate at which you discard them.
Ah. You buy 3 shirts, you throw out 1 old tie.
Right. You're still losing the battle.
So the answer is to go for broke.
You aim for perfection, but you only do it once. Tidying is just a simple physical act, right? You decide what to get rid of, and you decide where to put what's left.
And since objects are finite,
Since you can count them, achieving perfect completion is absolutely possible. If you want to avoid that rebound, getting it all done in one fell swoop is the only way.
all right, before we even get to the discarding, let's talk about the biggest roadblock for most people, storage.
Ah, yes.
My initial fascination with organizing was 100% focused on buying boxes and drawers and all those, nifty storage items.
You are definitely not alone. And based on our source material, I have to deliver a pretty strong statement.
Okay.
Storage experts are hoarders.
Whoa. That is a provocative claim. Why is storage seen as so destructive?
Because it's a booby trap. It's a superficial answer that creates the illusion that the problem is solved.
You're just hiding it.
You're just wasting time shoving stuff out of sight.
Yeah.
But the actual volume of stuff hasn't changed. Sooner or later, all those beautiful units, they fill up, they overflow, and you are right back where you started.
So the iron rule is you must discard first.
You must discard first. Don't even think about looking at storage products until you know exactly what you're keeping.
That completely flips the script. Okay, so if we resist the urge to buy storage, How do we start the actual process? What's that fundamental mistake most people make?
The fatal mistake is tidying by location.
Meaning?
Meaning you decide, okay, today is garage day, or this weekend, I'm going to conquer the linen closet.
That sounds so logical, though. It localizes the problem, makes it feel manageable.
It feels manageable, but it fails
Mm.
because you store the same type of items, let's say cleaning supplies, in 5 different places.
The bathroom, the hall cupboard, under the sink.
Right. And when you tidy each location separately, you're just repeating the same work over and over. And, crucially, you never grasp the overall volume of what you own. You never see the true mountain you've built.
So the solution is tidying by category. All clothes at once. All books at once.
Precisely. You finally force yourself to confront the real amount. But before you even touch that first category, there's a vital step 0.
Which is?
You have to visualize the destination.
Okay, so don't just rush into discarding. What does that visualization look like? Am I drawing blueprints for my apartment?
No. But you do need to be concrete. Picture your ideal lifestyle. The room you want to live in, down to the texture of the bedspread, the aromas you want burning.
Look at magazines, maybe?
Yes, look at interior decorating magazines.
Yeah.
Crystallize that vision. But most important part is identifying the why. Why do you want a clean room?
Why do I want to feel relaxed before bed?
Exactly. You keep asking why. Maybe 3 to 5 times for each desire. And that process, it eventually leads you to one simple, profound realization.
That the whole point is just to be happy.
The whole point of both discarding and keeping things is fundamentally to be happy.
And that leads right into the core decision-making tool.
It does.
We're not focusing on what we hate and want to throw out. We're focusing on what we love and want to keep. The joy criterion.
Correct. If you only focus on attacking the clutter, it becomes this negative, stressful chore. The ultimate standard has to be, does this spark joy?
And this requires physically handling every single item, right? You can't just glance at a stack of t-shirts.
You have to take each one in your hands. Feel how your body reacts. You only keep the things that speak to your heart.
It's the most accurate yardstick.
It is, if the goal is to create a space that makes you happy.
Okay, we have the mindset. We have the criterion. Now, the roadmap, the sequencing is crucial here.
Absolutely. The order is structured by ascending difficulty, so you can hone your decision-making skills.
Starting with the easiest.
Right. It goes 1, clothes. 2, books. 3, papers. 4, miscellaneous items or kimono. And finally, number 5, sentimental items.
With photos being the absolute last thing you touch.
The very last. Clothes are easiest because their rarity is low. Sentimental items are the hardest because of the emotional value.
So let's start with clothes. Step 1 is what you call the great humiliation.
Yes. You gather every single piece of clothing from everywhere in the house.
Every closet, every drawer, the laundry basket.
Pile it all in one spot.
Yeah.
It usually becomes this massive knee-high mound. And that exposure, that shock of seeing the sheer volume, it kicks most people into action.
So what's the first strategic move when you're staring at that mountain?
You start with off-season clothes.
Okay. Why?
Because they're not imminently necessary. It allows you to make a more objective, less emotional decision. You just ask yourself, do I actively want to see this outfit again next season?
And if the answer is anything less than heck yes,
You thank it for its service, and you let it go.
let's talk about the rule against downgrading clothes you don't love into loungewear. That seems counterintuitive. Isn't saving money a good thing?
It's logical, but it undermines the entire philosophy. Downgrading is just a delay tactic.
A way to avoid making the decision.
Exactly. And the time you spend at home is precious. Why wear clothes you love when you go out to project a certain image, but then wear drab, unhappy clothes for yourself?
You should love what you wear even when no one is looking.
That's the idea.
Okay, moving on to books. These are notoriously difficult for people.
They really are. And just like clothes, you have to take them all off the shelves. All of them. You have to jolt them alive.
But there's a critical warning here.
Yes, do not start reading them.
Ah.
The second you start reading, you cloud your judgment. You get distracted. It's no longer an intuitive sorting process.
What about all those unread books, the ones that have been sitting there for years that we keep promising we'll get to sometime?
Sometime never comes.
Yeah.
The philosophy suggests that if you haven't read it by now, the book's true purpose was to teach you that you didn't need it.
Its role in your life is complete.
Its role is complete. Discard it. Only by letting it go can you really test how passionate you are about that subject.
The paper category seems the most overwhelming, just the sheer volume of it.
It's chaos.
Yeah.
And the basic principle here is radical, because paper so rarely sparks joy. The rule is discard everything.
Everything.
Well, almost. You only save 3 simple categories. Things that need attention, essential documents like contracts and insurance, and then frequently accessed items. That's it.
No complicated office filing system.
Please, no. Keep it simple.
So what about all my appliance warranties and user manuals?
Keep them all together in one single clear file. That's it. The little bit of effort it takes to sift through that one file,
That's a purpose.
it serves a useful function. It forces you to check expiration dates, which you would otherwise completely forget about. It's an efficient system built on simplicity.
Next up, the giant miscellaneous items category. This is the junk drawer, right? Spare buttons, broken electronics, cosmetic samples.
Loose change, all of it. The challenge here is the sheer variety. But the guiding rule is the same. Does it bring you joy?
What about gifts? That's always hard.
The purpose of a gift is to be received. That's the moment of joy. Thank it for that moment, and if it's now just a burden, let it go.
People find some incredible stockpiles in this category.
Oh, astounding. Dozens of toothbrushes, thousands of cotton swabs hidden away.
And what about that loose change you find everywhere?
The sources urge you to adopt a very simple motto. Into my wallet. Don't let it sit in a jar for years. Use it.
Finally, we get to the sentimental items and photos. The deepest cut.
This is why we save them for last.
Yeah.
You need the highly honed decision-making skills you've developed in all the other categories.
But the good news.
The good news is that truly precious memories will never vanish just because you let go of the object. The physical act of sorting this stuff, it helps you process your past. It's a rite of passage to living in the present.
And there's a really strong warning in the source material about offloading this stuff onto your family.
A huge warning. The send it to my parents method is highly discouraged.
Because they never come back for it.
The items are almost never retrieved, and you're just creating a storage burden for your family, blocking them from having their own sanctuary. It's not a solution. It's just a transfer of clutter.
So once we've finally done all the discarding, our possessions are maybe a third of what we started with?
A third, maybe a quarter.
Right.
And suddenly the storage problem largely disappears.
Right.
Deciding where to store things becomes simple. You designate one specific spot for every single item.
Because an item without a home
Multiplies the chances that your space will become cluttered again.
and the whole goal of storage changes.
It does. It should focus on reducing the effort to put things away, not to get them out. Clutter happens when you fail to return something to its home, so the system has to make returning it easy.
And the simplest tools are the best.
Yes, forget all the complicated organizers. You just need plain drawers and simple boxes.
The source material is surprisingly enthusiastic about the empty shoebox.
It's the perfect tool. It's free, it's sturdy, it's the right height for folding clothes vertically. It's much better than some weirdly shaped container that wastes space.
This is where we get into the unexpected side effects, the life-changing magic. Clients report actual physical changes.
It sounds strange, I know. But when you reduce what you own, you essentially detox your house. And clients report a detox effect on their bodies.
They lose weight, their skin clears up.
They report more streamlined figures. They say it comes from a natural decrease in worldly desires. You stop impulse buying.
And this whole process, this continuous act of making decisions, it hones your self-confidence.
That's the core of it. The inability to discard, it really stems from one of two things. Attachment to the past, which is nostalgia, or fear of the future, the I might need it sometime problem.
And by addressing that pattern with your physical belongings.
You are forced to identify your true values. And that clarity starts to guide all your other life decisions.
So how do you know when you're truly finished?
There comes a point, after you've discarded so thoroughly, where you suddenly just know exactly how much you need to live comfortably.
The just right click point.
Exactly. You know what's required to make you happy. Once you pass that point, the amount you own just sort of plateaus, and the rebound stops.
Which brings us to the core tension of this whole thing. Tidying isn't an endless chore. It's a one-time special event.
It's a ceremony to fundamentally reset your life.
And the final lesson is maybe the most empowering one.
I think so. Even when clients do regret discarding something, and it does happen, they almost never complain.
Why not?
Because they've learned that any problem caused by a lack of something can be solved quickly through simple action.
Yeah.
They no longer abdicate responsibility for making decisions.
What stands out to me looking at all this is that the perfectly tidy house isn't the final destination. It's the launch pad.
I like that.
The true purpose of putting your house in order is to finish the task quickly so you can pour your time and your passion into what truly brings you joy, your mission in life. What mission, what passion, what life truly begins for you once your house is in perfect order, that is the ultimate decision only you can make.